I'll send it to you so you can sit down.
Everybody stand, we'll get started. Please, prayer pledge.
May we all pray tonight. Heavenly Father, we're just so grateful to be able to call you Jesus and be able to call upon you, whether we need you or whether we just want to say hello, we love you tonight. Lord, bless this meeting. Bless these men that you have bestowed in these great positions to do what's best for the constituents of Holmes County. Let every deliberation they do tonight and everything that's heard by the constituents all be in the center of your magnificent will. And we give you honor, praise, and glory tonight in Jesus' sacred name. And all of God's children said,
Amen. Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody. We'll go ahead and get started. Do we have any, we'll start with adopt the agenda. Do we have any additions or deletions?
I have District 3 development. Commissioner Anderson.
All right. I have three late things. Brittany Fire Department, which will be under David, County Coordinator. The Brittany Fire Department, the truck repair, which will be under David. I got an EDA grant, Commissioner Ellenberg, and Ryan Mims speeding grants, Commissioner Ellenberg. I didn't have any more. Do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do you hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion to second. Any discussion? How's the vote?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. Need to adopt the previous minutes, regular session, January the 20th, 2026. Any questions about those? Hear a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Have a motion to hear a second.
Second.
Have a motion to second. Any discussion? How's the vote?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, we'll go to the non-agenda audience. We'll start out with Lori Patterson.
Thank you. Good evening, my name is Lori Patterson, and I live in Holmes County. I'm here tonight to raise concerns about conduct of a sitting county commissioner and how members of the public are treated when they engage in community discussion. Recently, in an online discussion visible to the entire community, a county commissioner publicly named my husband and me and wrote, quote, "I'm above name-calling and childish tactics. For you and your husband, who own a local business like Pat's Electric, to lash out at people who have supported your company and services is truly disappointing." In that same discussion, the commissioner also disparaged another local business owner in the same neighborhood and stated that she did not even live in the district he serves. In a separate online exchange, the same commissioner told the neighbor that if he wanted an answer to a public question, he would have to call in privately on the telephone. These statements were not about policy, zoning, code enforcement, or public safety. They were personal remarks directed at private citizens and businesses. made by elected identifiable, an elected official identifiable as such. Florida law is clear under Chapter 112 of the Florida statutes. Public office is a public trust. Public officials are required to avoid misuse of position and avoid even the appearance of impropriety. When an elected official names a business, expresses disappointment in citizens for speaking up, dismisses others based on whether they live or move questions into private conversations, it creates an appearance of retaliation, unequal treatment, and lack of transparency. County commissioners serve the entire county. Every resident and business owner deserves respectful, impartial, and transparent treatment when engaging with their government. This is not about disagreement or politics. It's about professional conduct, accountability, and maintaining public trust. I respectfully ask this board to reaffirm its commitment to ethical behavior and to ensure that no public office is used to discourage or intimidate members of the public who choose to engage. Having said that, I would like, and I've already spoken with, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but Boyd gave me your business card, and I would like to have this put on the agenda for 2 weeks from tonight, so that other people can come, because I have the evidence, which was deleted somehow off of social media. But thank goodness I had the wits about me to screenshot it. And I would like it addressed and looked into.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. All right. All right, we'll go down to Mr. Sody Braxton.
Sody Braxton, John Braxton Jr. My dad was John Braxton, sheriff in Holmes County for a while, and Mitch worked for my dad. And, when I was a kid growing up, 179A meant a lot to our family because I grew up in outside of Gainesville. My dad was a trooper down there. So we talked about that road, and he remembered wagons and mules, and when it was a dirt road. So it's always been real important to our family. I live over there now. My dad grew up over there and lived there till he died. And so I noticed in different parts of the states and in different counties that sometimes they have a sheriff's memorial highway. And so I'd like to ask the county commission to consider making 179A not to change addresses, anything like that, to just put up a sign, Sheriff John Braxton Memorial Highway. There at 179. That's it.
All right. Board, any questions?
Are you going to do just a portion of it, or you want to do the whole length?
I just thought maybe one there coming out of Westfield and then one, maybe one New Hope or something. Coming opposite directions. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
One coming back towards Westfield and one going towards New Hope.
And
What you got?
John, will you speak?
Yeah, I don't mind speaking on this. I've got, I did a little research on this. Walton County just did a similar thing with 393, I believe, in the south end of the county. Essentially, they just made a motion to adopt that. Things you'll want to consider are, if there's a sign to go up, who's going to pay for the sign? That's kind of things that y'all will need to sort out amongst yourselves. But if you're not changing addresses, it's just a motion that you guys can make amongst yourselves if you wish to do so. Keep in mind, I'm sure this was a great man, but there may be somebody out there that didn't like him. So if you get vandalism, y'all just may want to consider who pays to put the sign up, who pays to put it back up, things like that. Just housekeeping things.
All right. tell you what you
I
want.
thought about it, I paid for the signs, and, also thought about vandalism, because I know we're not, I've been caught for 40 years, not everybody loves you. But I thought about putting them in places, and I'd have to go look, or something that's kind of like where there's houses around or something, not just out there by themselves, so I think we could do that. Any expense that occurs with it, I don't know how to put up street signs, but I might ask the road, if I might pay for a sign, maybe you got to put it up for us. But that's not at least aggravating way to do it, like I said, no change in addresses, none of that stuff, just designate that as the highway, this old road there. All right.
All right, what's board pleasure on this? You want
Well, what we would do, and I've seen this been part of this, I think David has too, in Washington County, would be just considered Memorial Highway at that point. So, I don't think we should, I mean, I would personally would have a problem with that, I don't know about you guys, but I think the vote and the decision on this would probably need to be good to do this at another meeting, that way we can do the unveiling of the sign and kind of make sure everyone knows about it, and it's advertised in the paper and everything is done in a proper way if everybody wants to do it. It's kind of just hate doing it, not giving it the the respect it needs. Putting it out there and let people know. You okay with that?
Yeah.
If you get with me, let me know what size sign, I'll get you a price. Don't get a sign for the
David, David will get with you.
Yeah.
Right now.
You come back and do it.
Is that all?
Unveiling of it and all that.
Is that all with board?
It's great.
All right, thank you, David.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. You had a great hand.
All right, we're going down to Mr. Richard Wilson. Mr. Wilson.
You almost got it right.
I've called it enough, haven't I?
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak for a minute. Before I get into what I want to talk about, on the sign for, if you do that 179A is dedicated to John Baxter Memorial Highway. My wife and I would be willing to aid in paying for the sign.
He's a good man, very
So
good man.
you know,
Yes, he was.
David, if you'll let me know what the sign costs, and so we can coordinate payment for that sign to go up.
Well, thank you.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, Angie and I had the distinct pleasure of being asked to represent Holmes County at Rural County Days at the Capitol with the Chamber of Commerce. And it was a great event. We met a lot of people. We talked about Holmes County a lot. We promoted our county. We tried to promote business and growth. It was great to be able to represent the people here and try to help bring focus to the county. I don't want to be negative about anything about that event, because it was a fantastic event. I mean, there were a lot of people there. I was just a little disappointed when looking around other counties that are in the same financial crunch that we are, had more people representing their county than just 4 individuals. There was myself, Angie, Donna, and one other person that was there representing our county. And Jane was over there walking around. I did see her. But there were counties there that had their TEC was with them. They had cities, and their city government was with them. They had county commissioners. They had so much more enthusiasm about the event. And I would just hope that between now and next year's event, that we could work together between the chamber. I'm not here representing the chamber. This is just my thoughts on my own as being a member of the chamber. I would hope that we could work together and put together a little bit more of an event around Rural County Days to represent Holmes County and promote what we have here to help grow business, grow tourism, grow enthusiasm about coming to Holmes County. That would help with the budgetary problems as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. I'm gonna go down to, Mr. Jimmy Moore.
Hello, my name is Jimmy Moore. I'm from Norfolk, and we seem to have a little problem there, just like y'all do all up and down the Florida, Alabama line. It's thanks to our sheriff and his department, the drug dealings and stuff in our town is virtually gone, because I keep an eye out, and they've done an outstanding job. Now we've got another set of thieves coming through. And they're pulling in these trailers, only one trailer's in from Alabama, and they have them set up, I believe they do it at night. And I know that there's nothing that none of you can do. What I'm here to ask for is who do we contact on this right here? Because I don't know, James, I used to work with a mobile home company, and the way to go about things is not being gone about. So exactly who would we follow up with?
Jimmy, you would have to follow up with code enforcement. Fortunately, we don't have code enforcement.
That's what I'm saying.
So, to answer your question, you know, I don't know how you just found it. We've had this problem in Holmes County before.
It's not just Holmes County.
It's everywhere, it's everywhere. We tried to, put code enforcement in our budget. Bad thing was $140,000 a year to add code enforcement, we couldn't do it. So, not answering your question in a short way, but I really don't know what you do.
Okay, well, you're honest about it. That's the big thing right there.
John,
I'm not saying
our
to
building
tell.
official, Mr. Chairman, has worked on this situation. Our building official is not here tonight, but John can add a little bit of what we've tried to do. You wanna take it from there, John?
Yeah, we tried to put a slow to it. We implemented a land use letter request process where you can't get a building permit until you get a letter from planning that says it's allowed. So unfortunately, those people are just breaking the law. Just like drug dealers, they're breaking the law. I mean, it's the fines aren't the same, the penalties aren't the same for breaking land use laws as the drug laws. But essentially, Noma, if it's in the town of Noma would have to either have code enforcement, or if they don't do it, they would have an interlocal with the county to do it. The county doesn't have it either, so unfortunately, that's the way it is. We can, if you can report them to us, we can track them. If they apply for building permits, we can put them into like a delinquent status or something. And they wouldn't be able to expand or do anything additional properly without coming into compliance. But other than that, it would take an enforcement action to.
If they pull the mobile home in without having a pad, dirt pad poured down up under, and you could catch them before, you know, if they put the skirt and everything around it, and you could visibly see it under it, would that come into play at all?
Possibly. That'd be more of a question for the building department than me. Nina, do you know the answer to that? She on there? Sure, somewhere.
That's part of the building code.
I don't know if Nina knows the answer.
She is right there.
It is.
If he's asking if like at what point would he be able to report somebody bringing in an illegal mobile home and y'all be able to do anything about it?
Once it's set up, you can let us know, and Keith can go out there and put stop work. This is the state mobile home inspector's card.
Mm-hmm.
Who might want to call him?
Yes, ma'am. So if we can catch them before they have electrical hooked up, and before they have their plumbing hooked up and all that, and the water hooked up, maybe we could put a halt on this. And I hate to stop somebody from moving into the house. I feel like the Grinch, but you know, it's just the way it
They're
is.
doing it correctly when they get that stuff, because we don't have the permits on it, so we're not approving power or anything else for them.
Okay. Double barrel good.
And if you can actually find them when they bring it in, and you can get somebody like the building officials can go up there. I mean, they have to get a permit every time they move a mobile home, and if they don't have that permit, then they're operating illegally. So that we can put some pressure on the people actually moving them, which that's where you're going to get some traction.
Okay, well,
Because
most
they're
of
making
them
money.
being brought in on the back of a tractor.
Well, I mean, they ain't lies on the state.
That's probably Jason.
Thank you, Jim. All right, we'll go on down to the agenda items. The first agenda item is 2026 FPL Economic Symposium, tab 2.
Jane?
Yeah.
So it was brought to my attention that we, as the county, may be interested in attending the 2026 FPL Economic Symposium. It is beneficial. They do go over a lot of what's happening in the state for economic growth. I did talk to Roy Baker with Opportunity Florida, and he said there is a likelihood that we could get a scholarship if anybody wanted to attend. I've put the scholarship application in your packets just for you to review. Typically, they reimburse 90%, and the county would be responsible for 10% if you were interested in attending.
Board, have any questions?
I guess the question I'd have is how many people want to go if we want to go? Just, it's like Mr. Wilsey was talking about where economic growth happens. This is kind of one of those places where you can see everybody and everything. All the other counties are there. And by the way, the commissioners were there that day. We were there prior to meeting with our legislators. What's the dates, Jim?
So March 3rd through the 5th.
And it's in Destin?
Yes, sir. There are several things, presentations, the global landscape. There's they talk about AI and government, focus on economic development, Northwest Florida, economic report card, attractions, a great place to live, some leadership. Just kind of different topics, but there's different things throughout the day that you can attend.
So it's on the 3rd, right?
So check-in's the 3rd, the main part of it is the 4th, and then the 5th there's more. So it's basically the 4th and the 5th.
So this is something that we want to do. We would really need to move the meeting from the 3rd back probably to the 2nd, 6 p.m. Because that falls on a meeting day.
The 3rd is just check-in day. There's not really much going on.
But our meeting's at 6 p.m. that night.
So it's up to you if you want to go over the night before, or everybody just get up early and go the morning of the 4th. It's totally up to you. But if you did want to go in and get settled and check in, yes, you'd probably want to move the meeting from the 3rd.
Well, if the board wants to go, just let Jane know.
I'm even know sooner than later, just based on having to get the scholarships and everything and making sure y'all have rooms. And
Would you like to go? Mr. Will?
Yes, with,
Mr. Mayor?
if I don't have that, it's real fun.
Okay.
Like,
So your schedule? Mr. Stafford, you know?
Forward, I've got a deal with you.
Okay, good. We got 3 so far.
so Commissioner Erickson, Commissioner Stafford, and Commissioner Ellenberg.
Yes. And the planning department, our planning would like to go too, I think.
I'm already going.
Oh, you're already gone? Do we want to send a representative from building? I would just reach out to building and see if they want to go. If building inspector wants to go.
I'll let you know when.
Okay, thank you. Did y'all have any other questions or?
I don't think so.
We just, if we decide to go, we just have to tell her we're taking it.
Well, it's gonna be grant funded.
Well, they hope.
Well, that's.
Yeah, I think we have to pay 10%.
All right. Thank you. We'll go down to the second item is Legend Way, through existing property for road on Little John Lane, correction.
So, we discussed at the previous meeting on the right-of-way on Smith Chapel Church. So, this is what was discussed, and Nate will tell you, he got an email from our 911 coordinator. If you look at this paper here, with this one here, you can see the cutout section. This section has already been surveyed by the county, the whole entire county. You use the tags there, so this parcel needs an address. Therefore, Little John Lane goes to the right. There needs to be a proposed road name going towards the left with an address going there. And this is what I was discussing in the last meeting about, to make that right of way open. I guess my district would go in there and make that access a little where they can get in and out and access to that parcel right there. Mr. John, did you ever send me a quote to restake that? Because I know we surveyed it. The county paid over a year ago. We paid $5,000-$6,000 to have it surveyed. We just need to be able to put the stakes back out to figure where that's at.
Pat says that we should approve that first, I guess. So this is what you and I talked about this morning. We did go out there in 2023 to do this. And so I'm sure some mistakes have been snatched out and they're not there. What's in red is what, from my understanding, Mr. Erickson, what you want surveyed. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir.
That form that I just handed you?
Yeah, these two kind of match up like that.
So yeah, I did. I think we do that for $900. $900. It's about half a day's worth of work we get done for around $900.
So, I guess what I'm proposing, something similar that we did, we cleared that right away. Took the money from Road and Bridge to pay the survey, which in your case, we took it to pay for the survey. In this case, it'd be paid for the restaking it to that location, and District 5 would actually do the clearing and making it accessible to that road. And I would like to include that in the motion. And in the motion, the county would need the road, name the road, and the proposal is the Legend Way.
That'll get better, you give access to a lot more lots.
Yeah, well, and I guess as time goes on, we can look at the rest of them, but right now, I don't think it's necessary until we get a request for additional.
All right, got a motion on the floor. Do we hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, we pulled the $900 from.
We pulled it, the same location where we pulled it last meeting for the right-of-way for Smith Chapel Road. Was it that road department continue? LOT. That's where we have to come from now.
You give me a quote, right?
Oh, you want to put that on?
Yes, that's the one myself.
All right, we'll add that to the motion then. And, who seconded it? Have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? How about it?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, we're going down to the next item. Discussion of abandonment of county-owned lakes via resolution. Mr. Erickson, that's you too.
Yes, sir. I think everything was in here. There's a resolution there. Nate had put together. I've talked to Nate about this. There was something else in it too. So that was the information on the lake. So let me start this off from the very beginning, because I don't think Wade was here when all this, none of us here when all this really started to transpire. So the last 2 weeks I've done some very, very digging, serious homework. Went back and talked to one of the old clerk of courts that worked for the county for many years, found out a lot of interesting stuff, additional stuff that I was aware of but really couldn't remember, and some stuff I didn't have a clue on. As you're aware, we got the two lakes, Dogwood Lakes. You got the small lake and big lake. Both lakes are controlled by a dam. We fixed the dam back in 2017 on the big lake, which we used money from LOGT. We used money from a different revenue to go ahead and fix that. As you know, we just finished fixing the overflow on the small lake, which was $150,000. And John Keeney is here. He's going to talk about what the additional stuff is going to be to continue fixing that lake. So I've been approached by several people about talking about, the county needs to get out of the lake business. We need to do this. We need to do that. You hear all this stuff, but what can you do? What can you do and what you can't do are actually two different things. So I talked to the clerk, our old clerk of court that was here, and he told me back, and I think this was even before your time, because when you told me you weren't even on the board when this had happened, when the initial leak happened on the big lake, it started leaking. DEP had sent a letter to the county stating that the leak in the lake will need to be fixed. Otherwise, DEP's proposal at the time was to excavate that whole section of road out on the big lake, the highway, the part that we made new, and let the lakes dry out. That was their suggestion. One or the two things. Back then, and like I said, it was before you were on the board, they made the motion to say, no, let's go ahead and fix that. So they did I don't know if it was temporary, I don't know what kind of repair they did, but they did some kind of dive, fixed the inlet on the lake. There was no permit done at that time on it. Everything was fixed. It went on until 2017. Well, that's when the major leak had occurred, 16 or 17. The water started flushing out, fish, everything was going downstream, turtles were going across the highway, just awful. So anyway, we came back and we said, and it was kind of like history repeating itself because I was on the board at that time. And when I was talking to Cody Taylor, he said, Clint, at that particular time, the board decided, is it worth letting the thing dry out, or do we need to keep it because the houses, there weren't as many houses at the time, but the property value and everything like that. Well, at the time, the leak wasn't like it was in 2017, but they did kind of like this board did in 2017, or previous board, we're going to fix it. So they fixed it. More houses came in. I heard there was 15, I looked back, there was 15 more additional houses built in time because they were under, that was created for that reason, and they knew there was a good established lake. Well, 2016, 17 comes up, like I said, started to hold some fish and everything goes under the road and everything else. So we had the same problem. This time the problem cost, I don't know, somewhere around $400,000 to fix at this point in time.
Yeah,
So we come up with the money, and Angie ran all the numbers for me, and for some reason I forgot all the numbers. But anyways, we fixed it. We fixed it in 2016, 2017. Well, when we did that, and I talked to that engineer this week, that engineer went out and had to go back to DEP. So this whole thing made a whole circle, went back to DEP, and that was the first time this was permitted. The big lake was going to be permitted at that point. Well, they permitted that, and lo and behold, they permitted the small lake at the same time, which the small lake didn't have problems. So, me and David talked about that. He became the national dam administrator for the dam. So, I mean, that's a lot of dams. But anyways, that's what happened. And all this had went on, and it was the same thing. You know, why do we spend money? Should we spend money? Should we not? But then again, we're looking back in 2016, 17. This is a lot of money being paid by property owners. Property values are going to adjust with the water right there. So here we are, we saved it. So we go to the small lake, run into the same situation. Well, recently with all this lake controversy and people being mad for certain reasons and, you know, vote and not vote and whatever, whatnot, here we are today. And John's going to go over the final fix. And him and I talked about this today. The final fix is going to cost some money. And I know the financial situation we're in. Everybody sitting here knows the financial situation. And, you know, and you hear this and you hear it from other parts of the county and they're like, well, let's give the lake back. Let's do this, do that. Well, yeah, you can really abandon the lakes if you want, but at the end of the day, what you can abandon is the two dams. Those two dams are federally registered with the Federal Dam Administration. I have talked to John about it. I've talked to the previous engineer that done it. I've talked to DEP. I've talked to Water Management. The only way this county will get out of serving the purpose and maintaining those dams is to have another corporation or another company come up willing to take them and meet the guidelines that they were going to require for them to meet. And you're not going to get anybody just to meet those requirements to be a dam registry for those two dams. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell, the county has no way around it. Those two dams are our responsibility. I don't know how you can get around it. I don't know if you ever be able to get around it. Now, yeah, I talked to the previous engineer. You can go out there and you can draw little surveys around each dam, and you can incorporate those two in the county, and you can just give and abandon the whole entire lake if you want back to the lake. But what good is that going to do? It ain't going to do a bit of good because all the money all the problems we're having is consistent with those two dams. And I don't know of a way possible to get out of that. I mean, and this was done way before your time, before all of our times. So this is where we're at. I'm going to have John Feeney talk about what it's going to cost. Him and I talked about it. You're looking at $60,000 in material, in repairs to stop that leak from that small lake so we can see the water from stopping from leaking. And he'll go into the, back to the engineering. That don't include engineering costs. You're looking at another $50,000 for engineering costs, roughly. So in order to complete this project, so we are back where we need to be and I don't have to worry about it for another 50 years. We're looking at another $100K to get this done. John, do you mind talking?
Yeah, Cliff's correct. I talked with a few contractors, got some help getting quotes, and they think that good budget numbers for each piece is $30,000. The pieces being abandoning the old pipe and constructing the new gear. We've still got to permit that, obviously, there's gonna be some permit fees involved, so I think the engineering is gonna be about $25,000-$30,000 for the permitting, for the engineering services, and then you'll have whatever the permit fees are, for a permit like that, so I don't know what it is, but I would budget $5,000 or $10,000 just in case. It's a lot, because that's a major modification to that permit.
And at that point, the leak will be taken care of, am I correct, John? That is.
Yeah, if you abandon the old pipe, the leak will be taken care of, yes, sir.
And the overflow will be in place, and you said today that you're looking at possibly a fixed row at another 50 years.
Yeah, I mean, the concrete would have probably a 50-year service life. You'd probably have to replace it, but the siphon would allow you to draw it down, to replace it again. The siphon, I mean, PVC pipe, it's got a 50-year lifespan on it, so I think it would last 50 years.
But that's pretty much where we need to be. That's where we're at. I don't know any other way around this.
With those being federally registered dams, is there no federal monies we can tap into or cost share programs, any agencies to help out with this cost of it?
Well, I've talked, we went to Tallahassee and Jennifer was there, and I previously had talked to her about that. And I actually talked to him a little bit about trying to find federal money for that. And, I sat there and I called Lyle, so when I talked to him, we saw them in Tallahassee, and you heard what they said, there's just no money there. There's nothing there. Now, on the federal side, I don't know. Further, as far as maybe getting up with Neil Dunn is, I don't think he's seeking re-election, or getting up with one of those Rick Scott or somebody and going to, Washington and trying to find something like that. Possibility, I don't know, but I think for us to try to find money immediately, I think that's our only option at this point, because everyone that you know with this year's budget and what they're telling us about property tax going away, there's no way we could pull it out of it. We don't have the money.
Yeah,
there's just no way.
Federally registered down,
Yeah.
there should be some federal.
On the other.
We did some research for that, this was probably a year or two ago, on some grant funding. What we ran into, I think it was the USGS that we were looking at, or the USDA it was, and they had some funding for dams, but most of it was all related to agricultural farming.
Yeah.
And these didn't classify. Most of it's to create surface water for agriculture, so you don't have to use groundwater for your livestock.
So there wasn't
a whole
having
lot.
some monies too in the state though for watershed, for certain parts of the county and, some.
Well, see, that's what they told me in Tallahassee was, we can find water for water problems, but find a grant and find money for drought or keep water in there is a whole, it's kind of like a reverse type thing. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at it to try to direct water, move water. We just got $40,000 for Northdale subdivision to do a clean out on that, but for them to use it for the water to stay there, it's a whole different, the money's harder to find for some reason. It's not, the money's not there to retain the water, it's more for watershed, like you said.
Mr. Erickson, you've looked into this, do you not think that maybe you could go a little deeper?
I think the only thing we could do is to get with our federal representative, Rick Scott, maybe Neil Dunn, and move in that direction at the federal level, because,
I got his contacts and so on, what
Yeah.
to reach out to.
because you guys were there with me in Tallahassee, and you heard what they said.
Yeah.
They shut it down. They said, there's no money.
John, how long, by the time you get started on your permit, how long before construction? How long is it gonna take you to get through the design and permit stage?
What's gonna be slow?
What's that? The permit? Yeah, the permit, it's in an emergency status, the state is aware of it, so I would hope that it would expedite the permit. But I think it could take 90 days to get a permit from the time you submit, if they don't get it here. Between RAIs and satisfying their needs, and there's new stormwater rules too, so we have to make sure that they meet some crazy for me, we're not changing the development pattern there.
And you said the permits, you're looking at anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, right?
I don't know what they're gonna cost. I wasn't involved with the last permitting, I don't wanna tell you a low number and you're not having it.
You can't do the permit until you design it, correct?
Correct.
So we gotta come up with $40,000-$50,000.
Permitting threshold.
Yeah, so we gotta come up with $40,000-$50,000 for you to design it before you can get the permit.
It's not gonna be 40 or 50,000 for an RFP, it's not.
For the engineering cost?
Yeah, I think 30 max.
30, well, then 10,000 permits for you, so.
Well, I think we need to check and see if we can get some funding before we do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
If Wade got some contact before,
I can call
if we get David to call,
Rick Scott,
just check and see.
but he's busy that day.
Might still get something out of done too for really, so, okay. You might put us in the right direction. Check it out.
That's what we're telling.
what, is her name Megan? David Neil Dunn's office, is it Megan?
Nicole.
Nicole.
Yeah.
Nicole. Can you make a call with her next?
Yeah, we can call her tomorrow.
Have a meeting?
She'll set up a meeting.
All right.
Just let me know if y'all got any questions or if they need anything from us.
How and who determines the invert
Hey,
elevation of the wheel?
Kate, you don't mind standing,
Because this has been asked in the past about lake levels, who and how is the elevation of the weir determined? That's what sets the lake level, the water.
Yeah. John, can you answer that question?
Yeah, Art, so you're talking about the concrete weir?
Yeah, where it spills over.
That, I mean, it's essentially gonna be the same as the top elevation of the pipe that's there right now, that's failed. So that.
Because I know I've been questioned multiple times about when we redone the one in 2017 because the lake level went down. We built it to grade, but then there was a bunch of questions about lake levels. And there's still questions about lake levels now, but we ain't had no rain in 9 months, so
Well, yeah.
everything's down.
If you look at the back side of that pipe, you know why.
Right, oh yeah, well, that's true on that too. But, I mean, also, when you build this thing and you put that weir at a certain elevation, is it guaranteed to hold water at that elevation?
No, I mean, rain's still gonna dictate the water level to some extent.
Yeah,
All right.
and
Thank you, John.
that lake evaporates fast out of there.
Well, it's the sand bed, that's another thing I think
Yeah.
they have to put in a well, yeah, flood in well,
Yeah.
to keep the level up.
Re-irrigation, things like that.
We'll follow this way, you know, check some of your contacts.
Yeah, I will.
On David. All right, we'll go down to the resolution 2603, FDOT off-system agreement.
Mr. Snapper, can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
This question would be to John. The last time I spoke to you, you stated that what's in there now, meaning the neon blue pipes coming up, going over to the fire hydrant, and then the other pipes going down the other side, that wasn't the finished product.
That's not all of the finished product. That's part
Right,
of it.
that you were going to have to drill coming this way, and then going down, and drilling into the current overspill that hasn't overspilled in 30 years that I know of, that I've lived there. Is that still part of what you're doing? Or is that more money?
I don't know what you're talking about drilling. There's the weir that we're talking about that has to be cut down. That's what has to be done still. And then
So-
close it off with existing pipe.
So if this is the dike, right, you're gonna come this way, right? And then you're gonna go down the hill and into the concrete?
No, they're gonna just remove the pipe that's there now, fill it full of concrete so that it doesn't leak out. That's all they're gonna
There's a
do.
pipe that's there, and it will just be full of concrete.
They're gonna fill that pipe up.
And then the discharge by your house, they're gonna go and cut a piece in it that'll be lower, that matches the top of the existing pipe. So it'll flow over that, a lower slot in the concrete weir, rather than into the pipe that's failing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I will go down to, the next item, resolution 2603, for FDOT all system agreement. Jane?
So if you recall, earlier, or at our last meeting, we had discussed doing the system agreement with FDOT to be able to repair this bridge, and so, this resolution goes in conjunction with that agreement. I can read the title of it for the record. Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Holmes County consenting to and authorizing the State of Florida Department of Transportation to do all acts necessary for the replacement of Prim Avenue Bridge over Holmes Creek as part of FPID 445452-1-52-01 pursuant to an off-system project agreement.
Do you hear a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
So I have a motion to adopt. Do you hear a second? I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? How's the vote?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go down next to the Wheeler invoice.
So, yeah, it don't matter. Mr. Kenny Williams had called me, our previous representative for the company we had on board to handle the FEMA work. Trying to look for what I'm trying to find. If you remember at the last meeting, he had indicated, there was work that was done and he was gonna bring that invoice in. So, and he was gracious enough to talk to me, and we talked about this. Under the FEMA specialist, you can look at this invoice is broke down two different ways. This was on Hurricane Helene, which we just received the money of $220,000. I think it went into the bank. A lot of that money was already allocated for for this year's funding, so it's already been souped in the budget. Project manager, which is the representative himself, Mr. Williams, $4,095. After talking to him and Wheeler representative, the senior FEMA specialist, Garrett Mason, the $12,865 that was billed to us will be reimbursed, which they are willing to go forth and ask for reimbursements on that. So the total amount is $16,960 with a reimbursement of $12,865, which would need to go back into the pot of money where we decide to pull this from. And if we're going to pay this, I would like to, I don't know, I haven't talked to Angie about this, but I would think it'd be proper to take it out of validated FEMA money if there's enough money there to do that.
It's pretty tied up with the Government Efficiency Center right now.
So there's no wiggle room at all?
The reimbursements aren't coming in from the Government Efficiency Center, so we're tight.
Okay. The only other source of funding would be to take it out of county commissioner contingencies, you would say?
Or road department contingencies.
What's in the county commissioner contingencies right now?
Around $95,000.
We got
$75,000 in road department contingencies.
It's gonna be reimbursed, we just don't know when it will be reimbursed, that's the only problem. But I believe we need to pay for those services since that funded $200,000 last week.
What we county done is took everybody in
If
there.
y'all want to use validated funds, yeah.
We took that rollover money that we knew we was gonna get and used it.
Yeah, that's done.
This year's budget, yes.
So let me make a motion, we take $4,095 from county commissioner contingencies and pull the rest of $12,865 from FEMA validated money. That way when that's reimbursed, it's reimbursed 100%.
All right, I have a motion on the floor. There you go, second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? How's the vote?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. At this time, we'll go on down to the county coordinator. David, you had the Brittany Fire Department.
Yes, sir. got a bill from Britain Fire Department, the tanker. It's already at 10.8, and it's repair on the pump, pro system, labor, flow meter. There's a lot of stuff that's itemized out, but it's 10 grand. They don't have money in the budget. We tried to get a grant. I talked to one of the other fire chiefs, but it only covers brush trucks, not tankers. So I told him I'd bring it up to the board to see what y'all want to do. But it's 10 grand. You know, a pumper's a little bit different. Everything has to be tested and everything has to be signed off on. That truck will be operational.
So, do you mind if I talk on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Mr. Clifton Cruz called me the day before yesterday, and this is one of their, I don't know, one of the most important pieces of equipment they have, and it's not a tanker, it's actually the engine for Greatney. Under the grant program that Chance Pitts currently uses off the Pittman Fire Department, it was, Pine Log Fire Department, it was a grant system that it's used for the federal government, and it can be applied for, but the only thing they use it for is immediate response trucks, attack trucks, like brush trucks. This was not a qualified piece of equipment. The reason why, what the problem is they're having here is with the controller, the SI 101 16000 controller, which operates the flow system for the pressurized foam meter, which the foam machines are used to put out, you know, batteries, stuff like that, electric cars. And that's why it's at 10.8, because it's one of those specialty projects where no one else can work on them. He asked me about it. He told me he took it to David and talked to him about it. I think it is a very important piece of equipment to have in that part of the area as they respond. And we do support them as recognize them as one of our main fire departments. And it's something very crucial if a car gets in a wreck or there's a battery or operate a car or any of these new cars, trucks that have batteries in them that need to be put out, because that foam suppression is used for that. I have not talked to Angie about this again, so Angie, my proposal was to take it from the money that was used from the Barry Hewitt Landon money at $37,000, because that was never allocated to go anywhere. We have not allocated for this year's budget for that money, because that was in this year for property that was sold. So my motion was to pay it from that money.
That's fine, just know we'll have to do a supplemental budget hearing later on in the budget year.
Because I believe that one at about 38,000.
34, yes.
34.
34 even.
And I'll tell you this, and you always say once you open up this door and then somebody else wants something or needs something, you know, what happens next? And we are running tight on money. I don't know what the answers are for the future. I just know that this is one of the requirements set by Florida statute that we were required to fund is our fire departments. And I think this definitely needs to be done. Other than that, we need to come up with another way of fighting fires, I guess. I don't know. That's my motion.
You don't restate your motion?
I don't know what budget line item that is, Andy.
Just the Barry
Hewitt
land proceeds.
Yeah, take the money from Barry Hewitt land proceeds and pay 10.8 so we can get our truck back in service.
It's 34,000.
The truck is actually at 10.8.
And we'll have to do a supplementary budget.
Yes, sir, we'll do it later on in the budget.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Do you hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? How's the vote?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's all you have? I will go down to the building official planning, minor development order. John?
This is for a minor development order in the town of Ponce de Leon. I got the staff report with me, okay? So you've got a staff report in your packet. I'll go over a few of the details and then we'll make a recommendation. This is a minor development order for a bar pit facility. It's 189 acres roughly. It's at the northeast corner of parcel ID 1829.00-000-000-006.100 and 1820.000.000. 00-000-000-7.000. The land use designation for agriculture. The project has flood zone X and flood zone AE within the project limits. There are some wetlands on the project site. It should be noted that none of the wetlands or the flood zones will be developed though, so they're avoiding those areas. We've got a 50-foot buffer requirement in our development regulations, and they're meeting that setback. So they won't be doing any work within 50 feet of those wetlands. They complied with all requests for additional information through our review period. Let's see here, we've got, as far as intergovernmental review, we had a water management district review. They've got a permit that they submitted a copy to us. This is on Highway 90, so they have an FDOT access connection permit with the Department of Transportation. This project was presented to the town of Ponce de Leon on January 15th, 2026. It was unanimously approved by the town. So that recommendation is entered into the staff report. The Planning and Zoning Commission has also recommended approval of this project on January 27th, 2026. And it was unanimously approved, so their recommendations entered into the staff report. My recommendation as the planner, since the project meets all required regulations, is to approve the project. Originally, it was to approve the conditions. The only conditions we had were that they submit copies of approved permits from the state agencies. They have since done so we have changed our recommendation to approval. So I'm requesting a recommendation of approval for the project, and the engineers here, if y'all have any questions for the applicant.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just
The
gonna.
only thing I wanted to say is, just, and I think it's a good idea. I mean, this is great. Ponce Leon is making this recommendation. This goes back to what we were talking about here a few meetings ago about, the planning department doing the work again for the city of Ponce de Leon. I don't know what this costs. I guess the county's incurring costs for doing all this, doing this stuff through your office. Am I correct on that, or?
That's correct. It's an hourly fee that our contract is for these services. There is a development review fee that the county takes the entirety of. The city doesn't take any of the fee from you. The only difference, since we had to take it to the city, is I had to go to one extra day. Otherwise, if it was just in the county, it would have only gone to the planning commission and to you.
So just keep that in mind again. So based on that, and the recommendations come from the city, I'll make a motion to move forward.
All right, have a motion on the floor to move forward with this moment, and a second. Any discussion? How's the vote?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, John.
I will go down to the county engineers. Dewberry?
Just one quick follow-up. The bridge that we talked about, Tuberville Bridge, that cannot be applied for through BSCOP. Those are just free adds to existing timber bridges that basically expanded like we talked about, so that cannot be a new construction. They separate that with that, so I just want to bring that up. That's something I'll bring it back to this meeting, so just want to present that. I will, however, ask if it's possible. I know we need to start working on these resolutions. I talked to Jane today, if we can go ahead and work with your road and bridge department, Mr. Harold, and figure out a bridge to apply for, and go ahead and get that on the scheduling to adopt a resolution at the next meeting. And just figure out what bridge within the county falls under the parameters. You do two of them after, so we'll do two, we'll apply for two BSCOPs. But we'll figure out which two bridges that need the most repairs and get that started.
Yeah, just keep in mind, District 1, District 2 has got the last few. If you got one in 5, or you got one in 4, or 3, to keep it equal. But they got more bids than y'all do.
And it may be worth getting some bridge reports to look to see which one has scored the lowest and which one needs more repairs, and work with Harold on that.
You just don't get with Harold on that.
If it's up to y'all, I don't want to go out of my bounds, but just that way we can find two bridges that need it, that need most work, and get those blocked for, so they're in worse shape.
Did you say that was a Tuberville bridge, you said it was?
It's Holmes Valley or Spring.
Spring Valley.
Spring Valley.
They
So
call it
get involved.
Tuberville Bridge.
Don't get it mixed up.
So
They
that-
got some-
So we back on square one.
So we haven't, okay, I just wanna get this straight, 'cause that bridge cost me. We haven't got anywhere with that Tuberville bridge then?
We've got the engineering done, there's not enough money to do it. We are looking for other avenues, and,
We put it
we'll
out.
have something to,
So that grant program, you said it would cover it because of what reason?
The base scout only does, minor modifications to existing bridges. It's not a full
Too many
Yeah.
things.
construction deal. I mean, I don't know what the difference is. I didn't design it or bid this job out, so I don't know where the money lies, but even if it was $40,000, you couldn't get it. You can get more than that through the VSCOP funding, but you can't put it towards the new construction of a bridge. That's not what
One
those
thing
programs.
was more than 5-span bridge, it's a long way across, and it's cost of water.
yeah.
I think Hanson Design, I've talked with Brian a few times, and we're trying to figure out some avenues to maybe apply for that to get some
Yeah.
funding.
If you remember, we took the bids and it come in way over bid.
Yeah, how long has that bridge been out there?
4 years.
4 years now? We haven't had a bridge there across that road.
And let me tell you,
Water.
they would be facing phone calls about that.
You don't know phone calls.
No, Lord. But I would bring it back before the board, John, on that Tuberville Bridge.
Okay. Well, then I'll work with Jane and your road bridge department. We'll figure out 2 bridges to apply for and get those started.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. All right, we'll go down to Melvin.
Got some good news.
Good
How you
evening.
doing?
All right. Want to get a few, quick updates on on this year's FDOT scratch scope applications in, conversations with Jane and David. DHM's been tasked to, submit or help write the one for, County Road 177A and, the phase 2 of Bonifay Chickley. We did all the work on Bonifay Chickley last year. It didn't get funded. We have all that information. We just need to update it. So, we've got many more for other cities and counties that we're doing, so we're gearing up to start doing those field reviews. And at the next meeting, I'll have, resolutions for, to approve for those applications. Any questions on that before I move on?
More have any questions?
I thought 179A was included under that, the last, was in the same running for that.
Rod, what was the roads in there?
Yeah, but I think, I'm talking with Jane, I think one of the other engineers is going to
Yeah,
submit that one.
that's
Yeah,
different.
give it.
On the, pilot project update in Ponce de Leon, we finished the, final paving of the final lift. All the paving's done on the Joe Manning Road. They finished it this afternoon. The water line is complete, the lift station is complete. The only thing left to do, we're waiting on FPL to energize the transformer there at the lift station so we can start the lift station up and get it tested. Hopefully they'll get that turned on today, or tomorrow or Thursday, and then we can do that startup. The only other thing left to do is just some minor fencing around the ponds and the lift station, and then do the final striping on the road, 14 days per spec from today or after a good rain. If we get a good rain, we can stripe it sooner with thermoplastic, and then that job will be done.
You want to tell them about me and you talking with Jack today?
Yeah, Mr. Jack, Reimer, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ryder put me in contact with him last week. We talked to them. They're gonna schedule a ribbon cutting for all of us in the county and state representative and everybody will be there on that. He said it might be 3-4 weeks out yet from doing that.
Okay.
But it is in the works.
They're supposed to be dumping Saturday.
Yeah. Last Saturday, actually.
We hoping this Saturday, because we need a fuel tank.
The only other update I have is on Project Gateway. We have a pre-construction meeting scheduled for Thursday next week. And then we have a separate on-site pre-construction with FDOT on the following Thursday, I think it's the following Thursday on the 16th of February. DOT wanted a separate on-site meeting to go over their requirements for working in the DOT right away. And then our notice to proceed for the construction is March 2nd, first week in March. And then we'll get that job rolling. And that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions.
Any questions?
Thank you.
All right. John, could you step in?
I did have a question before you walked out. Where are we at with the punch list and everything on the Ag Center and the leak that we had with the contractor on that? Because
I talked with Trey, the roof has been fixed.
It has been?
It has been fixed. They put a new roof on, or new cap, ridge cap and all that, so it's all been updated.
how about the punch list with everything else that needed to be done?
So I called Calvin, didn't get her yesterday, but I talked to Trey, and he said Larry out there, and I think all of it has been done. But I told Trey that I want him and I and Calvin to go out there and meet again and walk through it, and certainly the sheriff, if he wants to come over too, just to look and make sure everything is done on that list that was originally created.
When you do that, I'm gonna be involved.
Commissioner. So that's where we're at. I mean, I want to get Trey back out there, let's all walk through it one more time.
Maybe we're waiting for another good rain.
Maybe tomorrow, hopefully. So that's where we're at, but the roof should be good.
But we're gonna get one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All they have, did y'all hear everything?
I
think this is the fifth time I've talked to you. So, we have another resolution, or request to bring you a resolution, I guess, is for a CP project. Historically, the county has not applied for this grant, but since we're a RAO for the state designated RAO, we can get a waiver for the match requirements for that grant. I talked with Jane and I talked with Earl about possibly using Coates Road. It seems like a good candidate for that grant. It's a cut-through road. It goes from Highway 2 up to somewhere in Alabama. There's a lot of traffic that cuts through that road, so it takes trips off 79. So it would be a good candidate to get funding for that program.
C is usually a 50-50, but you can get the match.
That's right. You can get a waiver match, or a waiver for the match requirement because of the rate.
John, you need a motion to,
really just consensus and make sure that's the road y'all want to apply for. I would also, instead of doing resolutions for each of these projects, I would do one resolution we can all, somebody can draft it, we can all put it together, that would keep Nate from having to read 10 resolutions 2 weeks from now. If y'all are good with that. Engineers can just work together to put it all in one.
I'm fine with it. You want to just bring the resolution back and we do it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all got a good consensus, y'all want to do CP for Coach Road? Y'all good with that?
I believe it's good. All right.
John, can you give me an update on those leads?
On the road, we got comments at 100% Plans for our drainage. They wanted us to do a additional drainage documentation where we had to do some drainage calculations to prove that it's just preemptive, so if somebody ever asks a question, they can send them that document and say there's nothing changed. That's what we're working through right now. We have one little task based on that to address, and then we'll be resubmitting 100% Plans probably in the next week. Once that goes, they'll review it. They'll have to go through the whole rigmarole of giving us a notice to proceed to bid it, and then it'll be ready for construction. The construction dollars are already available. If it comes back over budget, we're going to have to go ask for a supplemental agreement. But right now, our estimate is under budget, so we're hoping it stays that way.
Good deal. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Stanford, did you get satisfied on 181 that, they got you took care of, okay?
All right, go down to the county attorney, Commissioner Controlling Agreement. If you want to talk on that.
Yes, sir. If y'all will flip over to tab 8, we've got a master services agreement with Commissioner Consulting LLC. We recommend that we have Mr. Earl sign this on behalf of the county. It gets all the items that we need to. This has been reviewed by SWM. It also has our exhibits, they attach the scope of work that was referenced in that RFP 2557. But we're asking for permission for us to execute it, or execute on behalf of the county. after Metric sends their signature for it, they're waiting for us to approve this.
Mr. Nathan, I got a question for they vote on it. They will, you talk to them, they will get me and Barry on who our representative is, contact.
I'd like to hear a motion to allow the chairman to sign this agreement.
So moved.
I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? How's the vote?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yes. All right, Nick, do you have anything else?
I apologize, I completely forgot about an item that was in your packet that we need, action on tonight, and that's the approval of the construction agreement for the Project Gateway. I think it's in your packet. We need approval so we can get the, chairman to sign that, and get it sent back to the contractor.
Motion to approve it, Chair.
I have a motion to approve. Do you hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? How's the vote?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll go down to the commissioner's item. Mr. Raymond, you had a couple of things there?
Yeah,
Go
so I
ahead with those.
received some information on some disaster supplemental grant programs, DDA. Y'all got a copy of it? This was sent to me by Caleb Spencer. He's a policy advisor, economic development, federal level administration. And I just wanted to check in and see if there's some monies it's for 23-24 disasters, and it's for rural counties and government and, small town stuff like this. And just wanted to check in if there's anything we qualify for.
All right.
It's wildfires, tornadoes, floods, all that, The tornado, was that 25 or 24? Come through.
Just 24.
24?
No,
That's 25.
25, okay. I wasn't sure about that. Yeah. Anyway, I believe there's some things we might qualify.
And Mr. Ellenberg, we did send it today to, Ken and them.
Right.
So we can let other people look at it if you want to.
This is like a pretty good program, and I think we might qualify for something. Anything there, we sure want to come our way, so.
All right.
Another item was a Mr. Brian Mills. Are y'all familiar with him? He lives in our county. He reached out to me. He does consultant work for grants and healthcare and all kind of policy stuff. And he's said there's some federal monies coming down for rural community support, healthcare, and been working with Holmes County, Baldwin County, I'm sorry, and some other counties around. He'd like to come in and meet with us and go over some things that he might could help us with, and we might be interested in. So I was going to see if it was all right with y'all if we brought him into the next meeting, let him do an introduction of what he does.
I think it's gonna have to depend on what is he gonna do. Are we gonna pay him through admin costs, or how's that? Because when you get in there and it gets kind of, Nate can tell you this, you might have to do an RFQ on something like that, won't you? Do a consultant contract for services when you look for grants writer? Yeah. So, you would hate for him to come and say all this and what he's gonna offer, and then you have to put it out for bid, and he's competing against somebody.
He's got several different things going on, so I say it's not just all, grant writing was one of them. But I just like him to come in and explain to us.
He could come into before the insurance committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said there's some, in his email, he said there's a lot of government funded money coming down the pipeline that he's real aware of that he might be going to.
Well, and another issue that we have, and I'm just throwing this out there, because we already have somebody under contract to do grants, so and you're gonna have to.
Yeah, he just threw that in, he does grants.
I'm just saying, the county's already got somebody under contract to do them, we just don't wanna get into a situation with two different people, so I just.
You want us to set the insurance committee up? Sam's here, he's part of it, and the sheriff. You want us to go through the insurance committee, or you want to just come to the board?
I think Nate needs to look at this and see if it's gonna impede on the current contract that we have with Liberty Partners. That's the problem they have.
This might be just intrinsic to healthcare. I know consultant services are exempt from competitive procurement, but I had other than those regulated by Florida Statute 287.055, which is engineers, surveyors, and architects. And read that statute, but I don't want to violate our contract with Liberty Partners, but I don't know how that, if they cross over in healthcare or, you know.
Yeah, his main thing is health. He just said he does grant. That was in his email.
I would just check and see if you think it's okay, and then we can move forward with that before we make a decision on that.
Okay, all right.
Because I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I just.
Well, you're right. I mean, you're right on there.
You don't want to use that healthcare provider and go, you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Mr. Amos, do you have anything else?
That's it.
All right, Mr. Johnson, Commissioner Johnson, you had
Yeah, we, on, District 3, on development, I tell you, District 3's got some great people, and it's a tough choice. But I had to go with the one that, was talking with me and Lord laid on my heart. And I'd like to see if I could make a nomination on, Garrett, Valcourt, is that right? Tonight, for that, fill that seat in the district.
Development Commission. Have a motion on the floor. For your second?
Second.
John, have a motion to second. Any discussion? How's the vote?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
If you come back in the morning and see Jane, we're gonna do a background check and you can hop on board.
All right, do you hear a motion to adjourn?
No, I got one thing I want to bring up real quick.
Hang on to the agenda.
I'm sorry. No, so somebody made me aware of this. Just wanted to share this with everybody during legislative session, which is tomorrow. In Tallahassee at 3 o'clock, they will have a moment of silence for Jeff Massey, which I think most of you know him. I know you were good friends with him. He just passed away. He was our county administrator for Washington County. This will be on the Florida channel if anyone would like to watch. Please share, let everyone know, but it will be a proclamation in his honor. And that was brought to my attention before me. Thank you, Garrett, for letting me know that.
I would like for us as a board, I had the opportunity to check filled in, and I would want to, could we have a homeless house for him? Would that be the board?
For this time, we'll have them on the saddles. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, before we leave, can we ask David to bring us back a price for some drop-down maps?
I'm glad you said that. I keep forgetting that.
Dinosaurs.
I've had so many phone calls that people can't hear.
And Mr. Stafford, we did bring the man in, and he wanted to try Bluetooth, but he's already got something ready to go. It's a little pricey, but I'll bring it.
I'll bring that forward.
Because we already had the whole for it.
All right. All right, you're ready to adjourn.
Thank you.